The Quad is, with the possible exception of India being somewhat shaky on some of this, but Japan has been extremely strong, so has Australia, in terms of dealing with Putin's aggression. We presented a united front throughout NATO and the Pacific. I'm pleased to see American companies stepping up and doing their part in what you're doing in terms of donating to Ukraine and winding down your operations without anybody requesting. And for the first time on that subject, let me say this, for the first time that Putin began amassing troops along the Ukrainian border, I call for an emergency meeting of NATO in Europe to make the case that we had to be united. The one thing I'm confident, knowing Putin fairly well as I guess another leader can know one another, is that he was counting on being able to split NATO. He never thought NATO would stay resolved, stay totally, thoroughly united. And I can assure you, NATO has never been stronger or more united in its entire history than it is today, in large part because of Vladimir Putin. And but in response to his aggression, there has been we presented a united front throughout NATO and in the Pacific. The Quad is, with the possible exception of India being somewhat shaky on some of this, but Japan has been extremely strong, so has Australia, in terms of dealing with Putin's aggression. We presented a united front throughout NATO and the Pacific. And now Putin's back against the wall. He wasn't anticipating the extent or strength of our unity, and the more his back is against the wall, the greater the severity of the tactics he may employ. We've seen it before. He's run a lot of false flag operations. Whenever he starts talking about something he thinks NATO, Ukraine, or the United States is about to do, it means he's getting ready to do it. Not a joke. You may recall, I said this to a few of you this morning, that I was able to declassify a whole range of operations that they were about to engage in without sacrificing sources and methods. And it was able to give everybody clear notice what was about to come, and to convince a lot of our friends around the world that we know what they're about to do. And so his back is against the wall, and he's talking about new false flags he's setting up, including he's asserting that we, America, have biological as well as chemical weapons in Europe. Simply not true. I guarantee you. They're also suggesting that Ukraine has biological and chemical weapons in Ukraine. That's a clear sign he's considering using both of those. He's already used chemical weapons in the past, and we should be careful what's about to come. He knows there'll be severe consequences because of the united NATO front, but the point is, it's real.